YouTube, how's it going? Frogs Angels is back with some more NFL record predictions, team by team. We're on to the NFC West. We did the AFC West. We did all the divisions besides the NFC West. We did the Cardinals first. We're on to the Rams. We're going to do the Seahawks and the Niners next. And then we'll predict the playoffs, predict the Super Bowl. We'll have a few other Frogs Angels members make their season predictions as well in the near future, so that should be fun. Then during the year, we'll have weekly NFL pick'ems. But we're talking about the Rams today, and we're using this website, playoffpredictors.com, for all these videos. Link in the description. Go check it out if you would like. But the Rams, contending team. Everyone believes they're a contender. I believe so as well. Obviously, we expect them in the playoffs, but let's break down the Rams, starting with the offense. Very balanced offense. You can't really find any weaknesses on their offense. Jared Goff, young quarterback, could get better too. Would like to see him throw downfield a little more. Will they expand their offense a little more? Can he throw downfield more? We will see. Running back Todd Gurley, one of the best in football, maybe the best in football right now and going forward. Offensive line's played great. A couple of veterans on that offensive line, left side and maybe the center too. Can they keep playing at that top tier level? I expect them to. Receiving unit got better with Brandon Cooks. Love that pickup for that offense. That should work out very nicely. Expect tight end Gerald Everett to step up, so they should be good there. Looking at it, I expect Jared Goff to have a good season, but just something that kind of sticks with me. It wouldn't surprise me all that much if he struggled a little bit. Like I said, he needs to open it up downfield. So could there be some struggles for a young quarterback? It wouldn't surprise me, but I expect him to have a good season. Looking on the defensive side, maybe it's hyped up a lot. It's hyped up a lot, maybe a little too much. It's a very good defense. Don't get me wrong. I expect it to be top 5 defense. They play a 3-4, but so what does 3-4 mean? You got 4 linebackers. My problem with this defense is that linebacker unit, while playing with 4 of them, so you value the linebacker position, that linebacker unit I think is pretty rough. I think Mark Barron, the former safety, being their best linebacker, he hasn't been bad. He's been good transition, very impressive. But I don't know if he's inside too. I don't know if they'll have enough pass rush on the outside from the linebackers. And people's response to that is, well, we have Aaron Donald, Ndamukong Suh, Brockers. Yeah, you're going to have good pass rush from the D-line, but you also want the pass rush from the linebacker position even while running that 3-4. So the linebacker unit scares me a little bit. Great defensive line, but again, Ndamukong Suh hasn't been playing to the best of his abilities. He's also switching positions. So what are we going to get from him? I expect him to be good, but how good? Aaron Donald will be one of the best, maybe the best in football again, but you can't put it all on him. Then looking at the secondary, very good secondary. Love the Marcus Peters pickup. So really it's on that linebacker unit. Will that linebacker unit hurt them? We see teams in the past not value the linebacker unit, and it's hurt them. We've seen the Giants do it, and they're starting to value it more now. So how will that be? Will they're going to lose pass rush, I think, from that the outside linebacker position. Will that hurt them? That's the question. So let's get into the schedule. Let's break it down. Monday night in Oakland. That's a ball game. I think they can go either way. I think it can be a high-scoring game. I think the Rams will be more prepared week 1. What's the situation with Khalil Mack? We don't know right now. Will he be on the Raiders in week 1? Will he be playing? Maybe he will be, but will he be playing? I like the Rams. Think they'll be more ready. I think they're the better team. Week 2 against Arizona. I also like the Rams in that one. They should win that game unless there's some crazy injuries. Week 3, home against the Chargers. This is a battle. This is a test here. I think pretty even teams. I like to compare these teams. I think pretty good defenses. I think the difference is I think the Chargers will actually have better outside pass rush than the Rams. Offense, the Rams may score more points than the Chargers all year. This really can go either way. When I'm kind of split on these games, I kind of go with the home team. So home field advantage, very, very important in today's NFL. It's always been important, but seems to be more and more important every year. So I'll take the Rams. Week 4, it's a Thursday night game, home against the Vikings. Home is key. Home is key on Thursday night. Last year's game for the Rams against the Vikings was rough. They went down there and scored right away on the number 1 defense, and they didn't score a single point. I don't know if they converted another third down after that. So is there a matchup problem against the Vikings defense? There could be. They're going to need to throw downfield, I think, to win that game. I think the Vikings they'll slow down Gurley enough. I think it's a bad matchup for the Rams. Could go either way. Being home on Thursday night's pretty important, but some kind of matchup issue there, I think. We'll see if they figure it out. Week 5 in Seattle. You know, the Rams are the much better team, but you can't just expect Seattle just to lose to everybody this year. I think it'll be a rough year, but I think a division rival game, I think the Seahawks can get one on them. I think Russell Wilson can get one. He's going to win some games on his own. You know, it's hard to believe one guy's going to win games on his own. It's going to happen. It's going to happen randomly against good teams, against bad teams. It's going to happen. You know, I'm not saying they're going to be good. I think it'll be a rough year for the Seahawks because they lost a lot on both sides of the ball. But I think they can get one like this. In Denver, I like the Rams in this one. They'll get an excellent pass rush against the Broncos because the Broncos' offensive line could be a little rough. But again, those linebackers need to step it up for the Rams. People are just a little blinded by that. You know, defense looks great because you got some superstars here and there. That linebacker unit's scaring me a little bit. It really is. It's if you're a Rams fan and that's not in the back of your mind a little bit, I don't know. It's got to be there a little bit because you're playing a 3-4. You value the linebacker position. I'm not saying the defense isn't going to be good because of that. It's just something that's sticking with me. You know, if they actually drafted well. They got a guy like Okoronkwo later. But how much of an impact can those guys make? I think it's a team we're looking next year. If they can get those linebackers together or develop them, get another one in there, we're looking at the Super Bowl favorite. I really think so. Another year for Jared Goff, another year for Gurley, Brandon Cooks in that offense. They can win it this year, but my point right now is this can be a clear-cut best team in the NFL if they get that linebacker unit together. You know, they can beat some teams with their offense in the playoffs. We'll see once we get there. Just my point is they can be very, very scary in another year. In San Francisco, that's tough. That is tough. I think similar style teams, you know, I think similar offenses. So that could be a problem with the Niners, really. I think since they're so similar, I think the better team is just going to win these games, you know, and that's not how always it works. But right now I got to pick the Rams. I got to pick the Rams in that one. And then they are home against Green Bay. I do not like this matchup for Green Bay. I talked about it in the Packers video. The Packers are going to win games with their offense, but then when they go play another offensive team like the Rams that can keep up with them scoring, it's going to come down to the defenses, and I think the Rams defense is definitely better than the Packers defense. I don't think there's no doubt in my mind. So I think it's a bad matchup for the Packers. I will take the Rams. Week 9 is in New Orleans. Being in New Orleans is a factor there. It's a key one. I think similar to the Packers game. It's two offensive teams that's going to score a lot. Yeah, the Rams defense is better than the Saints, but the Saints somehow they can hang on with those teams like that, especially when they're home. So even though you can compare offenses between the Packers, Rams, Saints, they're really, the Saints are a different team. Defense for the Saints, there's some holes in that defense. I'm a little worried about some spots, but they got some big time playmakers there too. I'll take the Saints at home. If it was in LA, then maybe I'm picking different. Home against the Seahawks, I don't think they lose that one. They're not going to get 2-0'd by the Seahawks. If anything, they're going to 2-0 them, but I got them splitting. Mexico game, home against the Chiefs. I think we can see a high-scoring game here. I think we can. I think the Chiefs can figure out the Rams' defense. I like the Rams in this one. I like the Rams. You could consider it's more of a home game for the Rams, even though it's not technically home, but pretty close compared to where the Chiefs are coming from. Bye week in week 12, then I got them beating the Lions in week 13. I mean, you can't rule out Matt Stafford and that offense. Problem with the Lions is I think that's an offensive team. You know, that's an offensive team. They got to win with their offense, but can they keep up with the other elite offensive teams? I don't know if they can. They can get close, but then the Rams defense definitely better than the Lions defense. I like the Rams in that one. Then against the Bears are one of those sneaky teams that'll beat really good teams and then lose the bad teams here and there. So maybe this is a week that the Bears win, but I can't pick against the Rams here. I think they're much better. Even though the Bears are heading in the right direction, they definitely can be a playoff contender in a year or two. Week 15 against the Eagles. Yeah, that's going to be a good one, especially in Week 15. It's going to mean a lot. I like the Eagles in this one. I think they got more than the Rams. I think they got a little more balance, even though the Rams are a pretty complete team as well. So I will take the Eagles. Week 16 against the Cardinals. And the Cardinals, I picked the Cardinals. I thought they would sneak up on them and take one on them. I think it's very possible. And they can do it. So I'll stick with that, get an upset in there. It's hard predicting these upsets. Don't want to predict too many of them because then I'll be just more wrong just on more games, I mean. Week 17, again, I don't really like the Niners-Rams matchup. Rams are home on this one. So I will take the Rams. So that brings them at 11-5. I think very realistic. I think there's other people. Most people are predicting more wins than that, 12, 13 wins. I think that's also possible. It's just a tough schedule. Just being in the NFC, they're gonna have to. I mean, it's possible to 2-0 everybody in the division, but I don't know if they do it. Looking back, they could really lose the Raiders week 1. The Chargers game, I gave them the win on that. Chargers are a very good team, but then the same thing with week 4. They can honestly lose both these games. They can win both. They can split. I think split's more likely. I mean, they could beat the Seahawks. They can beat the Cardinals twice. They also can lose to the Niners once. Got them beating good teams like the Packers, but then got them losing to a good team like the Saints. Chiefs could be tough. I like them in that game. So I think it's very realistic. Ignore Week 18. It's trying to predict the playoffs. Will they be playing the Saints in the playoffs? We will see. But I think 11-5, 11-12 wins is good. We will see. I want to know. I don't want any hate coming in. People think I'm hating on the linebacker unit, but I'm just every team I'm trying to point out, even the good teams trying to point out their weaknesses. But if you're a Rams fan, do you have any concerns with that linebacker unit? I'm a Vikings fan. I know we're a contender. I have some concerns with the offensive line. Is there what's going on with the Rams at training camp practice? Is there a concern with that linebacker unit? Because very good team, contending team. It's something that stands out to me. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but we'll see. We will see. Subscriber goals 10K subscribers. Please help us get there by clicking that subscribe button if you haven't already, and a click of the like button. It will be much appreciated as well. We just got 2 more teams to get through. Finally done with these. Then we'll predict the playoffs, predict the Super Bowl. Have a couple other guys part of the channel will make their season predictions. That should be very exciting. Should be this weekend. Thinking Sunday. Follow our Twitter, frogs_angels. We'll keep you updated on that. Any updates, we'll keep you posted there. But that'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.